We're live.
Hello. I'm going to go into now I'm going to see if it's Halloween and what's going on here. Did we do something wrong?
No.
Not yet. You have no idea what you are getting yourself into. No idea. I have to go into disguise what I do. I hope that's acceptable. That's all I'm going to say. You have no idea. Jason and John.
Hello.
Hi. You want to say something? We're live.
Just anxious to have imparted to me some sacred knowledge tonight.
Yes, we're very excited for Steven.
I'm just going to play one song to kick off the evening, and this is a song I wrote. I lived in a Zen monastery for 2 months, and there's this 5-day period where I wrote a lot of songs. So this is one of them, and it's called Mountain.
Everybody's making the same move, searching for the holy grail. One day I'm gonna drink from the fountain. My love is a mountain that's starting to fail. I seen all the beautiful women. They're calling me by looking the other way. And I'm standing in place as it's spinning. The faces are grinning. The signs haven't changed. There's something in this world that keeps moving. Shooting through the avenues, yeah, I don't wanna lose. Just stay home. Time
You see, in case you didn't notice, we are in the middle of outer space. We're in the best possible place we could be in outer space, which is planet Earth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing on this log drum, which looks like a log drum, looks like a piece of wood, but is actually the control panel to the spaceship. And we're going to chant some ancient planetary mantras together. If you want to chant along, they're very easy sounds to make, so we'll make some sounds together, kind of harmonize ourselves and prepare ourselves to receive some sacred knowledge from Stephen. So let's find the sound of the earth first. Taking a deep breath, everybody. Let out a sound. Sounds like home, you know? And then from the earth, we just float to our first stop in the solar system, which is the moon, right? It's kind of the safest place to go. It's a soft place to go. And the sound of the moon is the sound of shreem. The sound of shreem. Can you guys say that out loud? Shreem? Shreem, yeah. It's the sound of the juice in every vegetable and every plant. It's the sound of the milk in the breast and the semen in the testicles. So it's the good stuff that we all like, we all come from, right? Even though we're big grown-ups now, right? When we were little, all we wanted was a little bit of shreem. And that's coming at us right from the moon, you know? And our closest, nearest neighbor, or our mother, or our lover, or that kind of gray area where your lover is your mother, and your mother is your lover. like having the right idea, but not the strength to use it. And Mars is kind of like having the right form, but the wrong idea. The sound of Mars is kram. Can you say kram? Kram! Like Conan the Barbarian, right? He worshipped kram. And that's where Robert E. Howard got that idea. So this is kind of conflict, and all this senseless conflict you've ever experienced, but also the strength that you found by doing the right thing, whether you were going to win or lose, doing the right thing and just following the right steps. Three more. It's a very sense of righteousness about that. And now we're heading into the center of the sun itself. And in the center of the sun is the sound Ram. Om Ram, Ram, Ram. Om Ram, Ram, Ram. Om Ram, Ram, And our last planet before we come back to this great planet Earth is the most mystical of the planets, and that's the planet Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of the heavy consequences, like that last 30 years. The time it takes for that big planet to go around the sun. So the first 3 times we're going to chant the sound of Saturn is really for all the good laws, all the good actions that we've done for ourselves in the past 30 years that have brought us together in this great prosperity of Monday, January 25th, 2016. And then the second 3 times we chanted, we think about 30 years from now. What are our bodies going to be like? What are our minds going to be like? And what is our society going to be like? Who is in charge? And what are the effects of those choices 30 years from now? So the sound of Saturn is Param. You say Param? Param. And Om Pram is calling the divine force of Saturn to be just, to be fair, and to give us a chance to change things for the better. the heavens are so bright with the light of the glittering stars. I stood there amazed, and I asked as I gazed, does their glory exceed that of ours? Oh, give me a where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play.
Who made up all the rules? We follow them like fools, believe them to be true, don't care to think them through. And I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm sorry, it's like this. I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm sorry, we all do this. And it's ironic too, because what we tend to do is act on what they say. And then it is that way. I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm sorry it's like this. I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm sorry we do this. And who are they? And where are they? And how can they possibly know all this? And who are they? And where are they? And how could they possibly know all this? Do you see what I see? Why do we live like this? Is it because it's true that ignorance is bliss? And who are they? And where are they? And how could they know all this? I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm sorry it's like this. Do you see what I see? Why do we live like this? Is it because it's true that ignorance is bliss? And who are they? And where are they? And how could they know all this? I'm so sorry, I'm sorry we do this. Well, my friends, tonight I will tell you who they are. And we will somehow open up the passages in our hearts to understand that you do not live in a land of scarcity, no matter what they tell you. We live in a land of abundance, and when we get together collectively and build our team, we can all win. We will all be part of the team. Who made up all the rules? We follow them like fools, believe them to be true, don't care to think them through. Can you hear me? Or do I need this? Can you hear me? Yeah. Like this. Anyway, I'm here tonight to hopefully open up passages that are in our hearts, and for whatever reason our minds have been closed off. I'm going to share with you as much as I can the knowledge that I've acquired living in all the lands. But before I go there, I just want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you, Deshin, for coming here. I want to thank you, Jody, for getting me into yoga, and teaching me Deshin. Many years ago now, 2010, Deshin came and joined me in London. And it was probably the happiest moment I've ever seen you when we went to Salisbury Hill.
Oh yeah.
When you and I broke every rule that they told us that needed to be true. We invaded a hilltop, we went up there, and you got derobed. You took pictures of yourself being free. And then Facebook said you can't be. And they made you take down the pictures of yourself up on Salisbury Hill.
Speaking of Salisbury Hill, he's known me since 1964. Fred was the PR person for Christmas when we started. He knew me when I had John Wade and the Babies, and he had Steve Hackett from a band I had called Genesis. Probably the oldest person alive that still knows me is my sister Charlotte. Thank you. Sitting in the corner there is the woman that saved my life. Special lady and my love. She helped me get through the passage of my son. And it was hard. But he died doing drugs. And that story I need to tell. Because why do you do drugs? Why do we want to dance to forget? It's crazy what we do. We live in a land of purple. What is purple? Tonight in my lecture I will share that with you. Kelly grounded me because I live in space. I've lived in 2 dimensions my whole life. I hear messages. I look at people. I look at that coming. I thank you, Maitland, for coming tonight. You tried to help me when we were in London. I really believe we need to open up our passages. Over here's a band that my son signed. We're having a gay gig. He went on a trip with me. We ended up in tour. We had a great time. I'm sitting. Can you hear me? No, it's the mic. I'm going on the mic. And there's Matthew, Aaron's partner, Gatekeeper, a band my son loved. They were a Hippos and Tanks band, and the goal tonight is to recreate what my son tried to create. So we're going to open up Hippos and Tanks' hit. But tonight I'm going to talk to you about consciousness. It's something that's so important. I don't like mics because I have to use the mic. What I did, because I could go away and just get off the subject, I'm going to try to center myself. So I've written the themes of what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm sitting in purple because we live in a nation that wants you not to feel. Why is that? But you know, God, our Creator, gave us light. This book's about that. It's about the white team against the purple team. The white team is all of us when we reincarnate. When we reincarnate, we come to Earth to live in a heaven where we can fulfill all our dreams. The Declaration of Independence was written in that white spirit. But then, 13 years later, what happened? A purple team took over. Instead of having the white light that we're all equal, this purple team, I'll get this light straight, this purple team created a constitution which says if you don't own property, this nation's not for you. To this day, you have people running for office, and we still have a constitution that says women are not equal to men. My whole life I worship women. And all education begins with a woman, because that is the man that had the womb that gives us all life, so we can sit and create and live in the heaven that God told us we can have. But instead we have thoughts that are owned in control. The way to end the purple team is real simple. We need to go back to the light. We need to learn what the sacred schools of knowledge once had. This is my book, The School of Sacred Knowledge. I call it Sacred Knowledge, a rock and roller's guide to higher consciousness. I am a rock and roller. I can't stop. I see injustice, I will fight it. Every artist I've ever had was created independently, not through the big corporations that want to clock you in, put you in a niche, and end your entire ability to create. Not a Democrat or Republican Party that sits there telling you, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to be this, or I'm going to be that. But it's the same system. The game is to own your own currency. What is currency? Well, we trade money, but it's flow. It's your consciousness. It's your belief that something's true. That's how they control you. I'm going to teach you or share with you, because I can't teach, but I can show you the wheel of life, the 7 parts that must get in balance so you stop falling into the traps of the purple people. There are questions we all ask, and they're older than any of our thoughts. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? And where do I go next? Those are the questions of your life. Religions give you answers, but they're not true. I will share with you what I've learned through my rock and roll escapades of visiting over 100 nations where I've recorded artists from everywhere. And I've sat and learned how to play propaganda in nations all over our planet. It's my gift, and I hope it works. Today I'm running for senator in Florida. I am a senator because I'm elder, but I want to be a U.S. senator so I could speak to our nation and go make awareness around the world, because what they're doing to us is wrong, and we need to end it. So anyway, my friends, we need to understand what used to go on in these sacred schools. They taught you how to live by learning how to die. You don't die. You don't die at all. And I will share with you my thoughts. You won't believe it because it's teaching you something that you've been taught your whole life can't be true. But if you follow the religions and they tell you you'll meet God, if you behave yourself and listen to them, all they're doing is giving you an extra dimensional travel to someplace in the beyond. That's all they do. If you look at the myths that were created for these religions to roll over you, they're sacred stories retold to fit their game. They're myths of an angry God, and this angry God punishes you for not listening to him. Most of us here have created children, or we have nieces and nephews. God didn't make you to be angry. God didn't ask you to kill. Man does that. If the worst story of them all is the story of David. What went on with David? Follow this if you can. They tell you how David beat the Goliath. Goliath had the one eye. Well, what they're really telling you is, by making you live in the material world and teaching you there is no other world, they've shut you down to the visions of your third eye. And I will take you there as I teach you the wheels of life, or better yet, share it with you. 7. What is the magic of 7? Well, my friends, you have 7 wheels that make up your life. And here we go, as I give it to you. We're all vibrations. We're vibrations of energy, laid in the body, where our consciousness gets to move around and experience life in 3D form. You have 7 chakras, and if you can, follow me. Your first chakra is below your sex organs. The color is red. What goes on down there, you get grounded. And this, Kelly, is what you help do for me. You're over there. You help ground me, because I can take all. And what comes after your first, you need to be grounded to live here on Earth. The second chakra is your sex organs. The color is orange. And what does it mean? You're vibrant and you're ready to reproduce. And what happens there? You need to keep your sexual organs working, but you need to respect God. You can't let it fool you. And when it does, you get into trouble. I promise you. Many of you know what I'm saying is true. The third chakra is right above the sex organs. It's over here. I call it the Milky Way of your body. It's where all your organs are. And inside that Milky Way is the color yellow. It's your yellow brick road to life. If you ground yourself, take care of your sexual urges, and if you balance your organs, you will be able to get to your heart, which is your 4th chakra. The color is green. And what goes on with green, you become fertility. And you know the God that lives within all of you. You don't need the external God that they try to sell you. You need the internal God. The external God is what they try to do. The religions teach you that if you listen to their dogma, you will meet God next time. They're lying to you. God is here right now. God you are. We are all children of God. Your fifth powers, your fifth chakra is your throat. It teaches you to communicate your thoughts. People have always said to me that my grammar's horrible. Ever since I knew Fred, I used to get thrown out of English. I never understood why you needed a comma to limit your thought. I never understood why there needs to be boundaries. I'm not a poet, but through me poetry comes. All I want to do is communicate with all of you. The thoughts I have from the God, and the thoughts that you have of living in fear and not understanding. You can be anything you want. You can be anything you need. And the purpose of the government that Thomas Jefferson created was to let you live out your fantasies as long as you didn't prevent others' fantasies living in tune with the vibrations of God. And now I told you about the third wheel, the wheel of life. It's the sixth wheel. But when I told this to you earlier, it rests right here. It's your pituitary gland. But it's what David took out when he killed the lion. Because when you close your eyes and you feel the divine, or you feel higher power, and two different things. The divine will talk to you through your heart. Higher powers will talk to you through your third eye. My friends, there is a huge difference between higher power. Because some high power is not from God. Some higher power is purple. Because why does higher power make weapons of mass destruction? There's duality. And what is the duality? The duality is what you make of it. We need to go back to the light. We need to understand the truth. Because as you can communicate with your third eye, as so many people did, in my book, which I've lost, who knows where I put it? Anyway, my book, Sacred Knowledge, will teach you about the people who studied the sacred knowledge I try to give to you in this book. I've been told so many times by the purple team, this energy, that you are not ready to hear what I'm about to share. I've been taught by so many different energies that I can't tell you how to liberate yourself. Because you're not ready. They create a world for you where you're based in fear, you're sheeple. Peter Gabriel, when I worked with him, sang it best. His song, we do what we're told. Listen to it. That's what we all do. And if you don't do what we're told, they call you a fool. They sit and tell you, this is not what you need to do. But you know the truth. There are no limits. There's nothing you can't do. If we work as a team, we win as a team. My goal running for Senate is to create the Team America. My goal is to open up our hearts and to create the government that we can be. Is it people first or is it property first? People, the white light, or property. I need more than you. And what are you going to do with it? If we lived in equality, the people who are meant to lead you will definitely take its place. But where we live with fixed rules, there's a problem. We don't have peace. We've lived in this world for thousands of years, and all we do is go to war. In 1989, I was the happiest of them all. The communists fell, and I thought there would be peace. But no, this purple team needed to make enemies, and they needed to make hate. Let me tell you about the sacred schools for a moment. They were in Australia. What were the sacred schools? They were tribal energies, and behind you I have pictures. The tribal energies where they learned how to get along, and they learned how to survive. Then let's move up to China. What went on in China? They had sacred schools. Call it Confucius, or call it Taoism. When I was young, I met some Chinese doctors, and I met the Chinese father. The Chinese father was making Star Wars toys. He wanted to teach the world about the Chinese philosophies. He had me help him make a movie called The Warriors of Virtue. In The Warriors of Virtue, they taught me about Chu. They taught me about Confucius, they taught me about Tao, and they taught me about Tao. We made the movie, and he did something I told him not to do. Because I was trained to be a purple person. I know the game. And I will do anything I can to help eliminate all of those. But I said to him, you cannot hire MGM's film company. You need to give them a piece. If they don't have a piece, they don't have a rooting interest. He told me I didn't understand. His Eastern philosophy, I said to him, needs to be westernized. I didn't know what I was telling him. We put the movie out, the movie bombed. He lost $30 million. The year's 1996. And I'll give you all a laugh if I can, so I'm not only serious. They made me hire the Grateful Dead. They made me hire the drummer to do what they're doing right now. So I had Mickey produce music. They wanted 8 minutes of music. Well, Mickey didn't know what to do, so he gave him 30 minutes of music. I gave Mickey his $35,000 and told him to edit the music. He told me to fuck myself. I told the Chinese that he wouldn't edit the music. He wanted them to edit and put it in the movie. They said, no, we want a Western thought to edit the music and put it in the movie. Well, they had a stand-up. Neither one of them would work. His music didn't get in the movie. And they taught me a lesson. The whole trick in life is to compromise and move forward. Except if you're dealing outside the divine. Who is the divine? What is the divine? It lives in your heart. It's that inner knowledge that says to you, I'm doing wrong. It's that inner knowledge that tells you, do not do drugs to forget. But if you want to do drugs to remember, try it out. But if you can't see the sunrise, you're doing something wrong. So we leave China, we go to Japan. And what went on in Japan? Well, Japan became a nation that tried to teach the sacred knowledge. They created an emperor who was chosen by their sun god. I had the pleasure of meeting the Japanese firsthand when I got involved with Capcom. I was making video games, and video games represent everything I'm against. Why am I against it? Because it keeps you indoors, and the game it's ruled. There's only so much you could do. And I learned something. This is how they run society. When I sat down there, they were showing me how they created Street Fighter. I helped them do their movie. What they were doing when they were making games is they would sit children down and they would see how long they could play on every platform before they went up to the higher level. To keep them seated, they gave them sugar non-stop. My friend, sugar is a drug. They taught it to me. I ended up getting in a fight with them, which I guess sometimes is easy to do, because they didn't want anyone to know how they were trying to fool us. I did a show called Mega Man, and at the end of the show, I put all the soundtrack on the TV show. Well, the FCC said I can't do that. And I thought, here it is, I have my fight. I've been looking for my fight. And I got there after the FCC and I said, I can't advertise an album at the end of the show, but you could advertise these cereals to these kids to keep them what? Fat and fatter? Who do you work for? My company Capcom would not have to fight with me. They chickened out. They didn't want anyone to be drawn attention to how these video games torture you to kill. I've learned so much from living all over this world. In 1990, I put out a band called Strunz and Farah. Farah was an Iranian. It's probably the only gold record ever from Iran. They're not bad people, but yet we're raised to believe they're bad people. These are highly intelligent people who created their religion of a sacred school of Zoroastrian. What is Zoroastrian? It's fire. If you don't have the fire, none of us would be here. There's so much that we need to understand, and we need to stop telling people that we should hate people because they're different than us. Could you imagine if the whole world was just like us? What would you learn? Who are you? What are you? Let's leave Iran and go to Jerusalem. What went on in Jerusalem in these sacred schools? Well, they had the Sadducees, who were a priestly order that said, if you give me money, I will get you favors from God. They had the Parsis who came back from Iran, and they told you they have these religious rules which were written for you. And then they had the Essences, who lived in their heart, and sometimes too much light can blind you. And the entire concept of purple and white, the purple, which I'm now shutting off, goes off. The light comes from beyond the North Star. We all do. I believe our consciousness landed here. And that consciousness, when you look at the North Star, is bound by the purple light. Because too much light will blind you. Some of us who are in politics believe we are so right that everybody else is wrong. We'll go out of our ways to destroy people. Some of us are so blinded by our own ego, we'll tell you we're going to build walls to keep the Mexicans out. We need to remember history. That's not who you want to be your rulers. You don't want rulers. You want leaders, because you're all capable of leading. And in Jerusalem they had the Essences. And Jesus, whose name was Esu, because he went to the Egyptian school. Or Isu, he went to the Indian school. What is the Indian school? The Indian school comes out of Tibet. It's Krishna. The word Krishna translated into Greek is Krishna. That becomes Christos. The word Christos translated into Latin is Christian. The word Christos translated into the original Hebrew is Messiah. In India, they understood that they are created, and the first thought of creation is the son of creation. And that son of creation, I'll get back to in a minute, but there's three things. And that's what this whole school was about. In Egypt, what went on, they had a priestly order. And they made everybody work for the priest. And they had a figurehead. The figurehead was the pharaoh. And what was the pharaoh? The pharaoh inherited his throne with the priest telling him what to do. But if he did not have the same blood, he did not rule. So all the pharaohs had to sleep with their half-sister, because the one golden rule is all of us have the blood of our mother. That is true. But it got flipped when they could flip it, and they told you that it had to be the bloodline of the father. But you know something? I made 2 children. They don't have my blood. They have their mother's blood. The only people that have my blood are my sister Cheryl's children, her 2 daughters. So we have the Egyptian sacred school. And then we go to Turkey, and what went on in Turkey? You have the sacred school. At that time it was known as Greece, of Pythagoras. Who is he? He's the man that created the schools based on the planetary rules that Beshan was teaching you earlier. Those planetary rules are what creates the vibration for us all to live. The magic number is 7, and I'll get to it in a minute. And he created math using his 7. And using math, he also taught you that in the musical notes of A through G, there's 7 steps to the next letter. 7 and 7 and 49. And right now I hear Crosby, Stills and Nash singing to you all. 49 reasons all in a line. All of them good ones. All of them lies. We need to go to the light, my friends. Let's go to Rome. What went on in Rome? Rome is where Jesus became Christ. And before Christ, they used to call him Jupiter. And Where did Jupiter come from? Let's go to Greece. Jupiter was Zeus, the Christ energy of that land. The sun god, which is what Christ is. I'm teaching this to you, really sharing it with you just to open you up. This magic in vibrations. And if we all vibrate in harmony, we can elevate our understanding. In Greece, they had sacred schools, be it Socrates, be it Plato, or be it Aristotle. Socrates, by the way, killed himself. He killed himself because he didn't want to live in a world where you can't use reason. He took Hamlet. Plato took over and created sacred geometry. He thought you were born with boundaries. The Christian religion is based on those boundaries. As we move from Rome, let's go to Europe. In Europe, you had gods who worshiped nature. In the desert lands, you had God that worshipped the rain because it was needed. We all live with the sun god of desert. But in Europe, they had the green man. They had the Druids. When I told you earlier about Deshin, what Deshin was doing was talking about the Druids. In these sacred schools, they gave you a mythology of the days of the week. Please allow me the opportunity to walk you through it. The sun god was the energy that we all need to live. That day is called Sunday. Thank you. Monday, it's named after the moon. What do you do with the moon? You reflect. The moon reflects the sun for us. Because too much sun will blind you. So what you do with the moon, you should reflect to see what you are. Tuesday, the French language teaches you the meaning of these planets. Tuesday is Mars, Mercury. It's Mars. What is Mars? Mars is the planet that gives us the iron. If we don't have iron, we don't have blood. The Romans believed that they were from Mars. That's how they developed Rome. When they tell you the fable of Rome, what happened? Two brothers, one killed each other so they could rule. They took the god of war and they married it to the god of the sun and they created the Red Cross when Constantine wanted to take back the empire. So that's Tuesday. What is Wednesday? I always thought I was Wednesday's child. Wednesday is the day of the week that's dedicated to Mercury or Apollo, the one that runs around the sun and gets the messages from beyond and gives it to you. But today I don't know if I'm that messenger. I don't know what I'm really here to do, except to open up your eyes to the truth and then fight so you live. Because that's all I want to do. I don't want your money, I want your currency. I want you to play with me. I want you to smile. I don't want you to believe. I don't want you believing that you live in a land of scarcity, which is all the purple team want from you. Scarcity is how they control you, by making you believe there's not enough. So therefore you have to kill each other, so your side gets it all. Because if the planet becomes scarce, if you talk to your God, he creates the birds don't pay for food. None of the animals do it. None of the fish do. Why do you? God made it for you. Is that a message? Living in my third eye as I talk to you. But we have knowledge, and that planet's called Jupiter. And what is the color of Jupiter? What is the color of all this? Jupiter, vibration. And then in the evening, it's the star that makes you reflect, because too much desire will lead to misery. So what the Hebrews did in their world and their religion, they took that day and they took that star to begin. So you reflect on Friday night and you move into Saturday. The planet is Saturn. The vibration is wisdom. It's the wisdom we all need to get back to the energy, the day of rest, so we can carry on. That is the truth. And let's go back to the stars. And now we go from the stars to the 7 wheels of your life. The colors, your ground. Chakra 1 is red. Chakra 2 is orange. Chakra 3 is yellow. Chakra 4 is green. Chakra 5 is blue. Your throat. Very blue. The light goes to your throat as I talk to you. Chakra 6 is indigo. Chakra 7 is violet. That's what the purple team do. The purple wear violet. And why do they wear it? Because they don't want you to go beyond. And if you go beyond violet, you get into the 8th and 9th and 10th chakras, where you have a chakra that communicates with everybody. It's your life force and it's your energy. It's the 8th chakra. The 9th chakra is where you communicate with the universe. And the 10th, I simplify it, but it can be 11 and 12 too. It's where you meet God. Is he okay? The funniest, and I'll continue in a minute, is I went to Russia and I was brought over by the KGB to help one of their heads. His wife was a piano player and I became very close friends with him. And he brought me there and the sun's out and he's telling me it's minus 29 Celsius. And I'm like, how could it be minus 29 Celsius? That sun's shining. I went outside, I went, that's minus 29 Celsius. Which was really strange. He became a close friend of mine, and what he did was, one time my son was going to miss an airplane with one of our artists, and it would have cost us a lot of money to fix the flight. So I called him up, I said, I need you to do me a favor. He said, what? I said, my son's at this club. They don't want to leave. They're going to miss the airplane. He said, I'll take care of you. He went there, pulled my son out of the club with the artist, a guy named James Ferrari. They held the plane up and my son made it to Spain. It's like, I don't know what went on in my son's head and James's head, but they got him there on time. It's their church or whatever. Anyway, I've lost everybody on the 10th chakra. 10, 11, 12, meaning God. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the first 7. Number 1, and I'm going there for a reason. Number 1 is red, number 2 is orange, number 3 is yellow, 4 is green, 5 is blue, 6 is indigo, 7 is violet. It's your rainbow. It's the colors of the rainbow. And I may not be always right. When it's raining in front of you and the sun is behind you, you will get a rainbow. And it makes me think of the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And it makes me think of the story, The Wizard of Oz. And inside The Wizard of Oz, the writer of that story, he wrote the sacred knowledge and he tried to teach you the truth that no religion will teach you. We all need to use our brains, and we all need to have the courage to do what our heart tells us. Because when you get your courage and you use your brain, and you live in your heart, which was represented by Emerald City, you speak to the gods. You don't need fake gods. You speak to God. God will talk to you. Ask. In my book, I tell you how I met God. I asked to meet him. There was a man named Yogi Nama who wrote a lot of books before I was born. And he became my spiritual guide in his afterlife. I dedicate this book to him. There's a are dedicated to my son. It taught me the one thing God teaches. We have free will. Don't listen to these spiritual people. We have free will to build the world the way we want it. And it's not God getting even with us, it's us not living with God. And I'll give you a funny story about the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Many years ago, Phil Collins wrote a song about how much he hates his wife, who left him. It was called In the Air Tonight. Well, it wasn't going to be a Genesis song, so he made a solo album. I got him his record deals, and at the end of that album, he recorded a few notes of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So I'm listening to it, and I'm telling him, you need to take that off. And everybody said to me, we don't need to take it off. They said they're going to hear it, and they're going to want us to pay what's called the mechanical royalty. So I said, if you're prepared, in those days, it was 2 cents. If you're prepared to pay the 2 cents, let it go. I said, why do you think people are going to hear it? I said, this album's going to be a hit. And many of us love that song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And the real truth of that song is it's not somewhere over the rainbow, you are a rainbow. We need to live with that rainbow. And yes, they heard it. He had to pay 2 cents a copy. It may have sold 10 million copies in the US. And he lost money overseas. It's just about being transparent. I live by one rule and I tried to teach it to my children. My kids don't listen. I told them there are no secrets. And whatever you do, know someone's going to see it and repeat it. So therefore, don't do anything you don't want the whole world to know. I tried to live my life by those rules. And that's why I wrote this book, Gods and Gangsters. I outed myself because all I've ever wanted to do was to run for political office. Not to be a member of a Republican or a Democratic Party, but to be a member of the light as I get older. And the purple light that owns and controls us. I'm going to end this now with our interruption, but you just need to understand that our Constitution was written for property owners. The Declaration of Independence was written forever. It's the mantra of our nation. We need to live and protect people. We need to build a government that listens to people, that protects the health, welfare, and safety of all its citizens, that have laws that are equally applicable to all. It's not a faraway dream. We can make it happen. My goal is to run and just open up that chakra in our entire system. Because somewhere over the rainbow, we will realize we are the rainbow, and we will live in that beauty, and we'll create a nation that America was supposed to be. I thank you all for coming, and those of you watching on YouTube, in fact, thank you for staying tuned. And I'm going to introduce you to a couple of acts that I'd like to work with. I allowed my son to open up a record label called Hippos and Tanks, and I said to him, I don't care if the artist sells. Find art, because Earth is art. If you take the E and the H out of Earth, you're left with art. And if I do nothing else, I want to sponsor art. My sister who takes photographs, what she's doing is she's making pictures in her head and reproducing them for you all to see. We're all here to make art. When you put on your clothes, you are making art. When you make jewelry, you are making art. When you eat your meals and the meals prepared for you, you are making art. You need to understand, don't listen to others telling you to keep politics out of your life. You are politics, and politics needs to be art. We need to go back to the light of creation. We need to go into that light, do what the Declaration of Independence said. And I'll end on this note. You'll have all the answers. Why am I here? You're here to live in heaven. Where did I come from? You came from the beyond, the astral world. Where am I going next? You're going back to the astral world to relive it. What happens when I die? You go to the astral world. It's ascending and descending. If you have desires, you have needs, you come back here. My My friends, let's welcome all our ancestors who were once our ancestors. Let's build the world we all came here to have. Let's live with love, be love, share love, and let's become that nation that is the greatest ever. Thank you for listening. You can listen to these two new artists. And in my son's honor, Hippos and Tanks is now hit. I will hit you with the best tunes. And I will have my son forever in my heart, sharing the art that he will one day come back and have, as will my father and my grandfather, and my mother and my grandmother. But I leave you with one thought. As long as you're living in someone's head, you cannot reincarnate. You live when they go, and you get to do it again. Thank you for coming, thank you for listening. And I now will present you our new acts. And guys, thank you for improvising. I'm honored that you were here. Thank you very much.
sound is just amazing, seriously.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem. She paid me $20 to say that.
just got to